Indiana that's in Central Time?
No, so if you ever want to hear how stupid I am, ask me about geography. Ask me a single geography question. It is literally the thing I'm the dumbest about in this world. It's downright racist how dumb I am about geography. I thought Indonesia and the Philippines were in South America until like 2016.
Oh my god.
Nice.
I mean, like, I feel like, you know what? No, I'm just not gonna say anything. I'm just not gonna say anything. I was gonna try to defend myself, but you know what? No, I don't need to. I'm just wrong.
Maybe we're both Patrick.
Yeah. The lunch enjoyer. But yeah, I thought Indiana was closer to like California than apparently it is. I thought it was way out there.
You know the Pacers are in the Eastern Conference. How far did you think it extended?
I don't know. I get really confused about stuff. Niel, you have truly demented takes on these two movies. Especially about the one.
I'm willing to try to explain my conflicted reaction to the Drawn Together movie.
So I have a question. Were you a Drawn Together head? I know you weren't a Family Guy head.
I think I may have watched Drawn Together once, but it was not one of the shows I was big on like late 2000s Comedy Central.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I watched it with a lot of friends in like high school and early college. And every once in a while there's like a joke and I was like, all right, that was like legitimately funny. But so much of it, like you were saying, like you appreciate the fact that they have the ambition to try something different, maybe like go the extra mile with the joke. But so often it just like falls kind of flat or it's just like legitimately offensive.
Yeah. Like, when they fuck up, it is not for lack of trying to carry the joke across the finish line.
Right.
No. It really, like, it's
There's
wild.
A commitment there that there is not in Family Guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Like, I feel like Family Guy gets a lot of the brunt of, like, this is, like, for racist 12-year-olds. But, like, Drawn Together, oh my god.
Yeah.
Drawn Together, like, has no merit to it outside of, like, it. Like, there's nothing going on under the surface. Proudly so.
Yeah, that's the whole message of the movie.
Yeah, it's like, there's nothing going on here. It's just what you see is what you get.
Right. Unfortunately.
Yes.
It's got Adam Carolla as a talking pig named Spanky, who has a drill penis for some reason.
Yeah, I think his name was the first to pop up in the credits, and right away, I think I started watching it like Friday afternoon after work, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this. He's the very first name you see, and it didn't get much better from there.
Have you noticed that more men are getting vaccinated than they are eating stew? Isn't that fucked up?
He's like, why don't women just jump on trampolines anymore? What is our society becoming?
What happened to our juggies? That was a bad show that I watched like every episode of.
Oh yeah.
I'm so glad there's not a man show movie.
Oh my god. Like, how does Jimmy Kimmel not get like he's in his weepy lib stage right now. How does he not get canceled literally every day?
People keep bringing up the sketch where he played Karl Malone in like full blackface.
Yes. I feel like that
I think Karl Malone has been more canceled than Jimmy Kimmel.
No, yes. For much, much better reasons, Karl Malone.
Yeah, I'm not saying Karl Malone does not deserve to be canceled.
John Stockton, too, now. What the fuck?
Yep, the same day that the Utah Jazz were defeated by a truly inexplicable comeback victory.
Mm-hmm. What happened? Those were my two dads growing up. What happened to them? What the fuck?
Oh no. You don't want Karl Malone as your dad.
No, you don't, because then he'll... Oh god, no. You truly don't want him as your dad.
I think at this point it's safe to say that the Clippers are going to lose the Western Conference Final, but it is so fun the way they got there.
Yes.
I love that, like, weird upstart teams dethroned both number one teams in the conference.
Yes. This is truly a Neil Jacoby conference, you know? This is like a Neil Jacoby playoffs. It's fucked up, but I do like the Suns, you know?
Yeah, Chris Paul is finally going to be in the NBA Finals. Trae Young could get to a finals before Luka Doncic.
I don't like that. I like Luka. He's a nice young boy.
Luka's a bitch.
No, would you shut up? Would you shut the fuck up? Luka's good. He's a good little boy. I like that there's just a pocket in Texas filled with like trillionaire Eastern Europeans who can play basketball. Like, why is that team all just like Bulgarians?
Because they got one Eastern European and he got them their first title.
Yes.
And also because they saw the Spurs win 5 titles in, like, the span of 15 years and thought, you know, maybe Europe has basketball players.
Maybe white boy can jump. That'd be nice if the Suns got their first championship, you know?
Yeah. It would be nice if Chris Paul got his first championship.
I'm not your dad. Do you want to tell the podcast listeners about how you got me back into watching?
Yeah, so Shane was very distraught after Ben Simmons cost the Sixers the Eastern Conference Finals. And so he was looking at, you know, the demon Trae Young, the hated Clippers, and the fine but kind of boring Milwaukee Bucks. I was going to say Minnesota Bucks. I always make that mistake. I keep thinking the Bucks are in a better state than Wisconsin.
I feel like somebody that has like very strong opinions on bratwurst is going to shoot you for that.
Alice Cooper's going to come to my door and lecture me about the 3 socialist mayors.
Does this guy know how to party or what?
But yeah, so he was like, you know, I'm done with this playoffs. I'm done with basketball for now.
Yeah, I was
done.
done.
I said, Shane, Chris Paul, the champion of your favorite comedic art form, the insurance company television commercial, is on the doorstep of his first NBA Finals, and you would deny him your support? You would sit out while Flo, the Mayhem guy from the Allstate commercials, Dennis Haysbert, and Aaron Esurance are in those stands, and they've left a seat for you, and you're going to leave it empty?
The seat is going to be occupied by that little stack of money with the eyes on it. I love insurance commercials so much. I think
does the general
funny.
count, or is car insurance a different thing from the sort of home insurance?
No, the general's there. He can come to the party.
Shaquille O'Neal's good friend, the general. But yeah, I don't know how this playoffs sort of molded itself almost perfectly to my tastes.
I hate it. I fucking hate it. I hate that. Like, I like when two big, giant, like, I am those people who are complaining on Twitter about how, like small-time teams being in the championships is bad for the NBA. That's me. But I don't give a shit about advertising. I give a shit about the love of franchises. I love, like, trillionaire, like, players that are way overpaid and, like, franchises that have had, like, 30 championships. I want to see them facing off against each other. I don't want to see this shit.
You're not a fan of creating new stars?
No! How many times do I have to tell you this? I hate prospects.
You are Minoru Suzuki beating up young lions?
Yes, I just want established superstars. That's what I care about. I don't care.
You're the guy WWE books every WrestleMania for. You're the reason Edge came back.
Yes.
Edge, looking like walking death right now, just came back to face Roman Reigns, and you are clapping in the Thunderdome.
I cannot believe how ugly Edge looks like right now. Like
Meanwhile,
Edge,
Christian is in kind of like the best shape of his life.
yeah, Christian looks the best because the thing is, it's the hair. Edge brought back his long hair, and he looks like dog shit. He looks like a ghoul. He looks like a Fallout ghoul. And Christian's looked the same for the last 25 years.
Yeah, he looks about the same as he did when he showed up on TNA for the first time.
Yeah, he really, like, he aged well. He aged very well. He knew never to grow his hair out again.
Edge is the guy who sits in a shack 30 miles down the road from the cabin you rented, and he's there to tell you about the curse.
Yes. Edge's son will, like, do, like, a karate attack while screaming about pancakes.
Pancakes.
Do we have to review Cabin Fever for the show? Because that's a comedy.
If you do that, you have to do the remake as well.
Yeah, there is a remake, isn't there? Like,
See, I would think if you do that, you have to do House of a Thousand Corpses.
yeah. I love those two movies, House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects. Those are so fucking good. I miss Sid Haig so much.
The only Rob Zombie movie I've seen is Lords of Salem, and I like that enough that I would be willing to give his other stuff the time of day.
You should take the zombie pill. It's pretty fun. You'd like it. So like, there's kind of like two contingencies in the horror world right now: is people who are really into A24 horror movies and people who are really into Rob Zombie horror movies, and they fucking hate each other. They fucking despise each other. It is more of what I said in the last episode, where one party like is kind of unaware of the other, but the other one like is like doing like death curses on them, like blood curses on them every night. The Rob Zombie community, literally, I fear for Ari Aster's life because of like a crazed Rob Zombie fan.
Well, I never thought I'd be fighting hand in hand with a Rob Zombie fan, but hand in hand with a friend, I could do that.
Yeah, I think since you've taken the anti-elevated horror stance, I think you would like Rob Zombie's brand of like just ultra fucking sleaze.
See, now, like, I'm not against elevated horror. Like, I fucking love A Ghost Story. I fucking love The Lighthouse. It's just something about Ari Aster himself that just, like...
I think starting with Midsommar was a very... It set the tone, because Midsommar is nowhere... I like Midsommar, and it's nowhere near as good as Hereditary. But I think
I should have started with The Strange Thing About the Johnsons.
Oh, no, you really shouldn't have. You really shouldn't have. You really fucking should. So, like, Hereditary, like, it makes its, it makes its bones by being, like, kind of like Diet Rosemary's Baby. So, like, if you were thirsting for, like, something like that, like an older feeling horror movie, like something with a little more dread, like around that time, you would have gotten a lot out of that. I think if you were to watch it now, having started with Midsommar and having just been submerged in the discourse for years, I don't think you'd get anything out of Hereditary at this point. I think you would just write about how cringe Toni Collette is.
She was really cringe in Knives Out, but then again, everyone was cringe in Knives Out.
Yeah, it was a little cringe. I like Knives Out, but like I don't like the parts of Knives Out that aren't just Columbo.
Right.
Like I don't love like the Ryan Johnson making it about his Twitter feed,
Michael Shannon was not cringe in Knives Out. I will give that credit.
It is physically impossible for Michael Shannon to be cringe. He is the best. He lifts all ships, I want to say.
Including,
he did read that, like, sorority letter, but, like, even that wasn't cringe. He was able to elevate that.
What were you saying, Brian?
What was the Sasquatch movie he made?
Oh!
Potterville! Yeah!
Potterville owns.
I love Potterville.
I love
Christmas classic.
Because, like, he never gets to just play a nice guy, which is insane, because in real life, he's just a nice guy.
Right.
He's just like, he has like intense looking eyes, so they always make him like an insane monster in movies.
I just started Boardwalk Empire, so I'm excited to see him be an FBI monster.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, his plight on Boardwalk Empire is very funny. It's a good.
I'm also excited to see Michael Pitt again, since, like,
Mm.
to my knowledge, he did Hedwig and the Angry Inch, which he's fantastic in. He did Funny Games, which, like, he's like the part of that movie everyone remembers. And then he basically did nothing except Boardwalk Empire.
And
I-
Hannibal.
Yeah, I think he
Was
might.
he in Hannibal?
Yeah, the third season.
Okay, that's the one I haven't seen.
Yeah.
Because I don't know where I left off in the second season.
He
I
played
think-
Mason. I forget his last name, but whoever Gary
Verger?
Oldman played in Hannibal, like
I
the
think-
movie.
I think he might be very difficult to work with, which
That's
is
what I've
why
heard.
he's not in more things.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
He's really good in Boardwalk Empire. I'm very curious to see what your takes are, because Boardwalk Empire, I love parts of that show. I think do better than any other show, but there are parts of that. But I think the show is also diminishing returns starting season 3. Season 1 is really good. Season 2 is fucking phenomenal, and then it just is a roller coaster down, I think, after that.
So what you're saying is we're gonna have to do a does Saturday work for you about Boardwalk Empire?
Yeah, I'll rewatch all of Boardwalk Empire just to talk about this.
I'm also watching Delocated, so
Oh, that's the best fucking comedy. That's just the best comedy. I'm happy.
It is kind of hard going from the highs of Vice Principal to the, like, lo-fi aesthetic of Delocated.
Oh yeah, those are completely different. That is a completely different vibe.
Vice Principals, my god.
I need to finish that one. I'm happy that you've gotten so much use out of HBO Max, because
Yeah.
I feel like you really you are putting in the hours on that app.
Have you seen Righteous Gemstones?
Yeah, I did. That's actually, like, I think I saw the first and second season of Eastbound, and, like, sort of fell off at the
Mhm.
beginning of the third. Then I watched Righteous Gemstones, loved it, and then I was able to convince my mom, like, hey, you liked Righteous Gemstones, right? How about you go back and watch the other Jody Hill, Danny McBride comedies?
Right.
And so, we watched all of Eastbound. Season 4 is definitely my favorite of those. Then it's like 3, 1, and then 2's at the bottom.
hmm
Then we watched Vice Principals, and it's fantastic. And now we're both waiting with bated breath for Righteous Gemstones Season 2.
Yeah. And I think they're filming now, because I saw Tim Baltz is back in that area. He had family with him, but they were right in front of the gemstone wherever the mall was. So yeah, it sounds like they should be filming now.
Who wants to suck an old man's dick?
Yeah. God,
I think
Vice
that-
Principals is it's such a leap from what Eastbound and Down was doing, because Eastbound and Down is clearly like a comedy first and a story second, whereas Vice Principals is much more founded in character.
hmm
Eastbound and Down was very cartoonish. You know?
Not to say Vice Principals is not cartoonish, like, watch the second season finale of Vice Principals and it's on a level, but like Lee Russell and Neil Gamby feel much more like people than Kenny Powers did.
Yeah.
I still can't believe they got Walton Goggins for American Ultra and had him play a basically non-verbal character who's basically the Joker. Like, that guy was made to deliver the English language.
Yeah. Thankfully, that's the only fault of that movie.
Yeah, otherwise just perfect.
Yeah.
Certainly no crimes have been committed by its writer or director.
What is up with that family? Just
I don't know.
just bad vibes. Something sus is happening with that gene pool.
It's like it's the Twilight Zone or something.
Brian, don't get ahead of yourself.
Anyway, much like a helicopter launching after midnight, we're a bit late on starting this episode of Goof Troupe, the double feature comedy podcast. I'm Neil, here with Shane and Brian, and we're here to talk about the Family Guy movie and the Drawn Together movie.
Oh, okay, I gotta give you that one.
That was a solid transition.
Yeah, you got that one so quick. I want to personally apologize to both my co-hosts and to you, the listeners, if you decided to follow along with us for the film choices I've made. Can you even call these films? Can you call them films?
I don't know.
I will say one is feature length and the other one has movie in the name.
So I watched these on 2 separate days, and because of that, you've ruined 2 separate days of this past week for me.
I aim to please.
See, I watched these on the same night with the Tim Rogers Doom video as an intermission.
I was watching Tim Rogers Doom as well.
I started it because you said, "Oh, I'm watching Tim Rogers Doom right now," and I was like, "Oh, my PS4 is not playing the MKV of the Drawn Together movie, so while I have that turning into an MP4 via Handbrake, I will watch the Tim Rogers Doom review."
It's still so fucking good. That and the Pac-Man review are really like the best shit I've ever seen, and like his other ones are also the best shit. Like they're so like. They're perfect to watch when you're depressed because there's so much to it that you end up forgetting like 75%. So it's just fresh again, you know?
Yeah, and they're so tightly put together too. Mm-hmm. That like that 75%, like there's so much gold in that.
Nicole made an observation. I think I forget if I made it or Nicole made it. While watching the Doom review, he had went on like a 15 to 20 minute tangent on something and then just casually mentioned Doom in the middle of it and then went right back to it. And I believe Nicole said, "This reminds me of Alice's Restaurant." Where just in the middle of it, he'll just be like, "Now, Alice, you remember Alice. He's the one with the restaurant." Because like he was just talking about Gex for 15 minutes, and then he's just like casually mentions Doom, and he's like, "You remember Doom?"
Just to make sure you're still on board.
He said that Doom was for homosexuals,
but he didn't say.
Homosexuals. He said the other word, heck beneath, but he didn't say heck. You get it.
That is pissing off Nicole so badly, the heck thing. The fact that
Timothy,
not only does he say...
You haven't experienced perfect hatred?
That's the best line delivery. Timothy.
Delivered like whatever high school they were at had a crew team and they were on the crew team.
Why is it like Tim was like a Chad when he was in college, wasn't he?
He keeps mentioning the perfect 6-pack abs.
I don't know if it's a joke or not, because he keeps talking about like how he was a Chad, like 6-pack abs. He had like 500 friends.
Oh, I mean, he did say that Earthbound convinced him to go vegan, so that might have helped.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the perfect recall of everything is in his life is an extended bit or a true thing about him, and I would believe either one.
Yes. He's one of those people where, like, I really love his content. I love the art that he makes, but I don't know if I actually like his takes. Like, I don't know if I actually line up with a lot of his takes, because, like, I've read some, like, a lot of his, like, where we line up really lines up. But, like, it's one of those things where you don't want him to be on the opposite side of what you're on, you know? Because he can... It's like with you. There's nothing more cathartic than when me and you agree on something, but there's nothing more painful when you hate something I love. And when Tim hates something that I love, that's heartbreaking, because he'll go in on it.
When I posted my Letterboxd review of Midsommar, it was like when Kota Ibushi started going murder mode in the match against Okada.
Yes. Oh my
Just
god.
devastating Twitter slaps.
Yes. Just Okada, like, you can hear him, like, kind of wailing and crying, like, stop!
Uh, but like I said, we are talking uh, about the Family Guy movie.
The Family Guy movie. This is not a movie. This is 3 episodes, just, like, tied together with butcher's twine.
And so initially I thought it was just because I didn't really know anything about this, and I ended up watching with a friend who, like, same as you, Shane, like grew up watching this, like had the DVD from Best Buy or Circuit City or whatever, and would just watch it over and over again. And it was like 15 minutes into it, and I was like, wait a second, is this just like separate episodes stitched together? And they were like, yeah, that's really all it is. But then I'm just learning now that they split the episodes up after they made it to then air them on TV. I thought they were episodes that had already aired, and they just put them together for the DVD and added
No.
like 10 minutes in the beginning and end.
No, yeah, it was that. It was yeah, because this came out, I forget if this came out before or after it came back to TV. Like, I don't know if this was made while it was still canceled.
Right, like the Futurama movies.
Yeah, oh, the Futurama movies. Oh. There's a lot of these, aren't there?
Yeah, there are.
We're gonna have to, like, because those, one of them is good, I remember. I feel like one of those is pretty good.
Do you know which one?
No, I think it's the first one. The
Okay.
first one, I don't remember anything about it. I think I was just young and missed Futurama.
Sure.
And, like, wanted more.
And it was
like,
just a comfort to have it back in any
like,
form.
Futurama, I feel like, those are the DVD sets. The DVD sets of Futurama, I feel like those are sets that, like, everybody had. Like, you know, like the yellow Family Guy box set? I feel like everybody fucking had that.
Right.
I feel like I remember everyone I knew had that, and they also had the Futurama sets.
Mm-hmm.
And
just came with the house.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I just endlessly watched, because I had every one of them.
Yeah.
And I just watched every episode every fucking day of Futurama and Family Guy. Because Futurama and Family Guy, that was on Adult Swim.
Right.
It was like 8 and 8:30, or I think 9 and 9:30. I forget. It went Futurama and then Family Guy. So yeah, the summary of this movie: Family Guy, the Family Guy film. Stewie's big score. Stewie. Stewie is. Stewie and Brian do America. They Stewie is afraid of swimming. So he goes to do swimming lessons, and during his swimming lessons he tries to kill a baby, and he has a near-death experience, which in
a
the
baby
future
that looks weirdly like Jay Sherman's son.
Yes, Jay Sherman's son.
How is there not a critic movie?
Oh god,
man.
It stinks. It stinks. Niel,
I think the boat's passed on a critic revival.
No,
I think
Yeah.
enough members of the cast are either dead or Republicans that you couldn't really do it.
Dead or should be.
Yes. Dead to rights, I want to say, Niel, you're the classic critic fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
The critic was a formative. I watched it on a movie channel that was less about like actually showing movies and more showing things about movies. Like they had a Leonard Maltin show they showed at the movies.
I watched
Reels.
That.
Yeah, Reels.
Yeah,
channel.
Reels.
Yeah,
Reels was great. That was where I got all of my like fucking weird like 12-year-old like cinephile stuff, you know.
Same here.
So yeah, Stewie, he because of this near-death experience, it turns him soy when he becomes an adult. He turns into
yes, this is very much like A Christmas Carol, but instead of the ghost of Christmas future showing you your corpse, it's showing you that you'll be cringe when you grow up.
He turns into Hey Arnold's teacher, his gay teacher. Which I don't know if you guys have watched the Thanksgiving episode of Hey Arnold recently, but that's a heartbreaker. That's a real good episode. Paramount Plus is great for having every episode of Hey Arnold on there. That's a great show. So yeah, Stewie. What the fuck are the other people doing in this movie? I feel like Peter and Lois were in it pretty heavily in the beginning, and then they just disappear, right? Because I think the Peter becomes the what really grinds my gears. Like that's from this. That's the first half hour, and then like the next hour is just like I think it's like Peter and Lois trying to fuck, but like the kids keep walking in the room, so then they go on dates with their kids. I don't know. It's fucking stupid. Stewie Family Guy. He he helps his future self get his groove back. But he doesn't actually. He just kind of ruins his life. So like he just has to go back in time and fix the future, I guess.
Yeah, he gets him heterosexually laid, which is surprising for me as someone who mainly knows about Family Guy from like osmosis through culture. Like, there's no way that character is a heterosexual.
No. Did you see my Letterboxd review for this? I think the baby might be gay. Gay for the dog. The dog's not much in Brian, you're not much in this movie. You're not in this movie very much.
No, not enough.
No. Brian Griffin famously is Brian's namesake. His parents named him after Brian Griffin.
Yeah, they named me. It's Brian the dog Morgan.
You were named after the bravest dog I ever met.
Oh my god.
We named the dog Brian.
I just love. God damn it. I loved all the takes that were happening at the time when Brian died. That was the funniest time to be on Twitter.
It's a nation in mourning.
Nelson Mandela and
Jim Cornette.
No, who else died at that time? Is Brian Griffin, Nelson Mandela, and somebody, Paul Walker. Paul Walker also died that weekend.
Oh.
Those three died the same weekend. And it was very funny. And somebody got a tattoo of all three of them.
I still can't believe that is the cause that Jim Cornette put his strength towards.
Yes. Bringing back Brian the dog. He was only dead for a week.
What was
Brian,
the replacement?
Are you aware
name?
of who Jim Cornette is?
No.
So Jim Cornette used to dress like Lupin III and wave a tennis racket around at wrestling shows in the 80s.
Okay.
And in the 90s, he founded a promotion based on bringing wrestling back to its roots that promptly folded. And since then, he has mainly been racist online and said bad things about people he used to work with.
Huh.
By bringing wrestling back to its roots, it should also be noted that promotion was also just based around racism. Like that promotion made its money based on like conning racist people into going to the shows.
Yeah, they had a guy called New Jack who would openly antagonize white people, and that ruled. But like, it's clear which side Jim Cornette personally is on.
And what was with the tennis racket? I'm looking at pictures now.
You know, I don't know.
I don't think they ever went in on why he had a tennis racket, but he'd hit people with it. Managers used to have objects, that they'd walk around with.
Right.
Paul
There used
Heyman,
to be a guy who had a big phone.
Yeah, Paul Heyman had a big phone.
The York Foundation had a computer that would calculate how to win matches.
I feel like Jim Cornette's like a balaclava away from being the Eradicator.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's a good one.
Anyway, Shane, is there more to the plot of the Stewie Griffin
please
movie?
Save me. I have no. This is not a movie. This is not a movie. This is not a movie. There's no plot. It's Family Guy.
He goes back in time and saves himself from blowing up the lifeguard stand. And then for like 8 minutes, they interview the family at a bar because some part of the like fourth wall of this movie is that this is, in fact, a Family Guy movie starring the Family Guy characters. And so they talk to everyone, and they have little cutaway gags about the things they've been doing, and they all suck ass. There's a truly horrendous joke about The View. Aye.
Yeah, that was nasty.
Now, within the universe of the movie, if they're going to the movie premiere and it's the episodes without the bookends, it's not long enough to be a feature film.
No, somebody really should have thought about that.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to write some letters.
Yeah.
Suicide letters.
Dear Seth. Trying to think of Stan parody. Yeah.
My beer's gone cold, I'm wondering why I got out of bed at all. I can't do a very good Peter Griffin.
Oh, this is Peter I thought you
the
just had
baby's gay for the dog.
I thought you just had the most demand. That was good.
But it grinds my gears. It grinds my gears.
No, this isn't you're not doing Peter, you're doing your cousin from Boston. Oh, those are my new favorite. Those are going in the commercial Hall of Fame next to Flo. I love those commercials.
I mean, that guy clearly needs to be a car insurance mascot more than she does. He needs it.
Yeah,
all his DUIs.
Oh my god! Oh god!
He's there in Celtics gear cheering for Chris Paul.
Imagine a crossover of your cousin from Boston and Jamie from the Progressive commercials.
I hate Jamie so much.
You know what? I think the thing that soured you so much on insurance commercials is Jamie.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, because you can swallow Flo being a thing.
Please,
but the fact that they made Jamie...
Please don't ever say swallow Flo again.
The fact that, just to give a second of lucidity here, the fact that they made commercials where Jamie is in it, but none of the other characters are, is kind of rotten bullshit.
It also feels like, though, because those commercials were always even when they were just with Flo, they were pretty annoying. But it feels like when they got to the Jamie ones, they became very aware of how annoying they were and just embraced it to the point that they're like, yeah, fuck you, we're annoying. Let's see how far we can take this.
Yeah, and you know what? I respect it. I think it's beautiful. I think it's great. I think they are. They're the last pure comedy in this world is insurance commercials. Oh god. Swallow Flo.
What an awful combo of words.
I know, I'm sorry. Family Guy.
Family Guy.
So I want to say there's a through line for these two movies, outside of just being direct-to-DVD adult animation movies, is that these are both very bitter movies about being canceled, which I think really has a place in today's world, but for different reasons,
It's clear why Adam Carolla took the project.
Yes, exactly.
I see. It's weird to have Adam... we'll get to that when we get to the Drawn Together movie. But, it's weird to have him there and then have that movie try to make the political points it makes.
Right.
But I didn't really get the bitter about being canceled feeling from the Family Guy movie. It just seemed bitter about celebrities. It just seems to hate anyone who's famous.
Yeah. It's the bookends that are we're kind of bitter about, being canceled. I don't think in the content of the episodes, because those are 3 episodes of television,
right?
But the bookends, I feel like they make reference to it. Some of those cutaway gags, there's something else, weren't they?
There's
so
some
many
doozies
of
in there.
My notes here are just this bit.
Yeah. So I will cape for one bit that I thought was funny. I think the part where Peter goes, holy crap, Lois, you think that's bad? Horses are bad people. and it just cuts to a woman choking on her tea, screaming, "Murder!" And it cuts to a horse just looking devilishly.
I think The Simpsons did that bit better in the episode where Homer does Mr. Smith Goes to Washington 2 starring Mel Gibson with the dog with the shifty eyes.
Yes, yeah,
you
that
know
is.
he's up to something.
Yeah, the dog. Yeah, that is just a Simpsons joke, isn't it? Well, thank
More
you for
like,
having.
You're not caping, you're fucking capping right now.
So, yeah, this obviously isn't very good. This is a
No.
very bad movie. This did not do any psychic damage to me because it is so familiar. It is so like I obviously just remembered every beat of this, and the things I didn't remember were unpleasant, of course, but like
You're like the Dread Pirate Roberts with the poison.
yes, absolutely. I really have conditioned myself to be able to watch Family Guy and not like
But you're
die.
also Wallace Shawn because you gave us the poison.
Yes. I gave you the lethal dose of poison. Seth MacFarlane, really, oh my god, you know?
Yeah.
So many of these jokes are, they're mean, but like, they're cruel in
And they're not,
a way that isn't funny.
Right.
yeah, they're not even worth it. The jokes aren't worth it. They don't say them with a lot of oomph to it, you know? It's just they kind of just wet noodle fart out a lot of the jokes, you know? And they don't have like why would the Family Guy creators have faith in their watchers, honestly? Why would they? Because I feel like Family Guy fans really, and like not to talk about like points of discourse that like I feel like now we've moved past IQ as being like a really big indicator of actual intelligence, but I feel like the average Family Guy fan has a genuinely low IQ. Like, I don't think there's many people who watch it who aren't borderline like something, you know?
I'm scrolling through the movie now, like trying to find anything I enjoyed. But the thing is, like, watching this for the first time, like, I'm sure I had seen clips from these episodes when they were put on TV, but I realized that, like, I would say at least 40% of this I already knew just because kids would repeat it in, like, gym class and in, like, middle school and high school. And that's, like, how so much of it got into my brain that I was like, oh, that's where that's from.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even told to me as a Family Guy joke. It would just be somebody saying something terrible and racist. And I was like, oh, this was like something writers got paid for.
Yeah, like I remembered the what is the bit? The Johnny Quest bit.
Mm-hmm.
While I was watching it, I was like, oh god, this is terrible. This is just evil.
Something that it seems to happen a lot in Family Guy is the whole, because right now I have the clip of Stewie as Ferris Bueller running through the backyards of just like recreating scenes and not necessarily adding new jokes to it. Like there's the joke at the end of that where after he jumps he sees it's 5 miles away. Like that's whatever, that's fine. But like they have a history of just recreating like scenes from comedies or movies, and the whole joke is that it's like a baby doing it, or that it's like Peter Griffin like fighting as Braveheart.
No, it's the Red Letter Media thing, the member berries.
Right.
It is literally, the joke is that you remember this. Like, I remember
did
that.
Did you just credit a South Park joke to Red Letter Media?
No, that's Red Letter Media. Member berries is Red Letter Media. Isn't that the fanboys?
There's the bit about remembering from the fanboys, but the member berries, that was like a season arc on South Park. They were like berries that could remember things.
I'm Googling this. Oh, no, you're right. You are right. I didn't watch this. I didn't watch that arc of South Park.
Neither did I, but I picked it up in the discourse.
Yeah, you have total recall on all media and just knowing things, you know?
This is the way in which I'm Patrick.
Yeah, everything turns into a big broth for me, a big soup, a stew, and they all just kind of go together, you know?
You don't remember, you just consume product and get excited for more product.
Yes, that is me. I am who like these companies advertise to. I'm an idiot who likes to spend money.
Just put more stuff in the trough for me to eat up.
Yes. Can I tell you guys real quick about speaking of pig troughs, I have a story related to that. Have you guys ever heard of a Goodwill outlet?
No.
It is not an outlet store like how you would imagine an outlet store is. The Goodwill outlets, they're a specific type of Goodwill store. They don't have shelves. They don't have like organized like areas where things go. You go to these places, you go to the Goodwill outlet, and they just have miles and miles of pig troughs filled with products.
Huh.
The gimmick with the Goodwill outlets is that everything that goes out to Goodwill goes to the outlet first.
Mhm.
So if you go to the outlets, you get the first crack at these things. Every hour they kick you out of the store, and they tell you all right, pay for your
I think
things.
I've read in Achewood about this type of place.
Yeah, they kick you out and they refill the pig troughs with new things. And then they play like a fucking air raid siren and you run just the worst people
What?
you've ever seen in your life. The sleaziest scum of the earth motherfuckers hoarding outside of this store on a Wednesday afternoon, waiting to get shit that they're gonna sell on eBay later that night.
Wow,
But they also sell everything dirt cheap as well, way cheaper than they even sell at Goodwill. They sell things by the pound.
Mm-hmm.
So we left with 17 books, a giant Garfield plush, which Nicole was flipping the fuck out about. And
well, I've seen a giant Garfield plush. How big was this in relation to the legendary Garfield plush?
No, not a giant. It's like a decently sized Garfield plush. Just bigger
Is it
than
bigger
a
than
small
Garfield
one.
would have been?
It's about the size of what Garfield would be.
Okay, so this isn't like they might accidentally ship you a bag of playground sand instead.
No,
Big.
I misspoke when I said giant Garfield plush. It was a decent sized Garfield plush. Oh well, all of that, 17 books, a Garfield plush, a little Elvis motorcycle that I got from my dad for $3. Stuff I need to go Christmas shopping for Brian at this Goodwill. Brian, this was remember when I was texting you the pictures of those VHSs?
Yeah, and it was in just that giant container.
Yeah, those are the pig troughs.
Yeah.
That's where you run up and get your slop.
That's wild.
Yeah. It's a fucking wild time, and it's in a nasty ass neighborhood we went to go, in southwest Jersey near Philadelphia, just in Camden County, just not a good area. Just the people there were the scum of the fucking earth. One time I was watching Storage Wars with my mother-in-law, and she just walked in to the living room, looked at the people, and she just said, "Those people are the scum of the earth." And then just walked out. And I've remembered that to this day. And I really felt that when I was in that store, because I was like, you're right. These people really are the scum of the... They are, in a literal definition, these are what human, pond scum are the people who go to the Goodwill outlets and just, throw everything they physically can into their carts so nobody else can get... It's literal trash. It's fucking actual trash.
Right.
So
you'd recommend it?
Yes. Oh, it was fucking fun. It was great. I got really good books. I got a book from the early 40s of how to sing for money. I bought a 1970s guide to marching band etiquette.
Step 1, purchase some shoe polish.
Yes. I got a history of the movies book from 1958.
That's cool.
It's really good if you want to get
Chapter 1, shoe polish.
Yeah, it's all about shoe polish. It's shoe polish all the way down. Wait, it's all shoe polish? Always has been. Yeah, it's great. It's great if you really want to just... There are some diamonds in the rough there.
Yeah.
There's some good shit. We almost bought a 6 foot tall witch doll just like a Halloween witch that was like as tall as I was.
Speaking of shoe polish, what was with the cutaway joke where Peter was a black woman who sang so high it blinded Ray Charles?
Yeah, I did not really understand like the significance of that at all.
Mm-hmm. It's I don't know. I can't defend that. That's just it sucked. It fucking sucked. A lot of this just fucking sucks. The joke is I don't know. Wouldn't it be funny if Peter was black and a woman?
I
And
would
hey,
ask
they were
if
right.
we could do a joke of the movie, but I think we all have the same joke, if any.
Yes.
Which is what? Which one do you have in mind?
Shane, I believe you already went with the horse one.
Yeah, I'll stick with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so mine is, Peter is on TV talking about how it grinds his gears, how, like, Lindsay Lohan dances on stage, like, and he's like, no women are actually attracted to men or want to have sex, so it's bad to tease us like that. And then Lois is like, yeah, women are teases. That's why I went back to men. And the way that sort of takes the hard turn from, like, okay, yeah, Peter's saying something important to, like, oh, Lois agrees with it. Oh, wow. And that actually got a laugh out of me for the one and only time in this movie. It's
then they
followed by
ruined
a
it.
bad joke and preceded by a bad joke, but it is like the one joke that actually kind of threw me for a loop.
Yeah, mine I don't even know if it's really a joke, but it's the thing that made me laugh was the cutaway when it shows Stewie as Quark and he's talking to like Odo at the deep space bar.
Mhm.
Just the fact that Stewie was Quark made me chuckle.
Yeah, that was enough.
That was
That-
the only bit of emotion that I'd be okay with like showing in public. Otherwise, it was just anger and annoyance.
They really could have done better Odo jokes. Like, there are Odo jokes to be made.
And I'm
Also,
looking
like-
at it now. They had the actor. They had Renee. Is it
Auberjonois.
Auberjonois? Yeah,
can
he's
we
in the
just-
voice cast.
Can we just talk
Mr.
for a second?
Eggplant.
Odo does not look like Odo in this at
No.
all. Like they gave him a nose. What the fuck?
Right.
You had one job. Don't give him a nose.
Do you think their Tim Buckley character creator can do something without a nose?
No, I think they can't do the eyes if they don't have a nose. Eyes without a nose.
My favorite Billy Idol song.
God, I just hate the visuals of this show and this movie.
It's
I
so
hate
fucking-
its visual identity.
Yeah.
It really is like Tim Buckley really is that's a very good way to put it because it is just flat and shitty and boring. So DVD Tales from the DVD commentaries during I think like season 5 or so, the episode that had what is it, Frank Sinatra Jr. on it. They brought Frank Sinatra Jr. in for the DVD commentary, and he spent the entire episode talking about how beautiful Family Guy looks,
Oh
like
my
how
god.
like really good the art is. And I just
I don't
remember
know
thinking,
what I
like,
hate more about that anecdote, the sentiment expressed, or the fact that you can recite Family Guy commentaries chapter and verse.
There's an episode, I think it was season 6, where they had Cherry Chiva Pravadongrong in like recording with them, and they spent the first 15 minutes, like I was making a joke that they were making fun of her name, but the first 15 minutes of this episode, of a 23-minute episode, was just them singing song parodies but just saying her name. And I just will always remember, I think Seth MacFarlane, or I think the guy who voices Cleveland,
The white guy who
singing-
voices Cleveland, by the way.
the white, yes,
Mike Henry.
Mike Henry just singing Cherry Chiva Prava Dong Wrong. There'll be peace when you are done.
Until you said that, I didn't really get why you said that DVD commentaries were your, like, podcasts before podcasts. But no, yeah, that is just, like, a bad episode of Come Town.
Yes. Yeah, Family Guy commentaries were Come Town in 2005,
Jesus Christ.
and they were my favorite piece of media in the world. I also like the Futurama commentaries. I like those a lot, and the Simpsons ones, and all the movies that I had. The go if you have Old School on DVD, Brian. I know you fucking have Old School on DVD. I will bet the house that you have that somewhere.
Oh, get ready to give that house away. Do not
No,
have
you
it.
what?
Yeah.
That I would have bet money that you had that somewhere in your house.
No.
I don't know what would be a sadder thing for somebody to tell me, that they went hungry as a kid or that they religiously listened to Family Guy episode commentaries as a kid.
I was gonna say the Old School commentary was very funny, and I'll remember jokes from it till the day I die. I just remember because it was the three leads and Todd Phillips. So it was Will Ferrell, Luke Wilson, and Vince Vaughn. And Will Ferrell spent the entire commentary making fun of Luke Wilson's eyebrows. And they came up with names for him. And I remember the names. It was Kevin and Shorty were the names. And they were just talking about which eyebrow was doing what during what scene.
See, now I wish I had the DVD.
now you don't need it, though. That's the thing. I recited the entire joke. Okay, Niel, I need you to be brutally honest. How pathetic is this?
Like I said, talking about, like, listening to Family Guy commentaries, like, obsessively, that is sadder than, like, talking about how your dad, like, left you on your 13th birthday. It's sadder than talking about, like going hungry as a child. Like, oh my god. I was a pathetic child, but oh my god.
Oh my. I am so sad that, like, because of streaming services, like, commentaries aren't a thing anymore, but I guess I don't need them because, like, podcasts exist. Oh no, I just remembered.
I do want to say, like, a DVD commentary I love is the Edgar Wright and Quentin Tarantino Hot Fuzz commentary.
Yeah.
That's a classic one, you see.
I throw that on YouTube every once in a while.
I feel like we can all get behind that one.
Mm-hmm.
That one is very much like a podcast before podcasting, because it's just them shooting the shit about all the obscure English crime films that inspired Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
I found on what is it called? LimeWire. They had you could just download the commentaries as an MP3 file, and I used to listen to them on my iPod at lunch.
I get it.
Did that send a shiver down your spine?
Yes, like I started hearing the In the Arms of an Angel and, like, picturing a kid just sitting alone at a lunch table listening to Family Guy writers.
I was not alone.
That makes it worse.
I mean, I was listening alone. I had friends around me, but I wasn't paying attention to them.
You were like Tim Rogers reading on His Majesty's Secret Service alone at lunch while two guys tried to get you to talk about Doom or Dungeons and Dragons with them once every lunch.
I think this is what in therapy they call a breakthrough. All right. Okay. So how are we ranking? I
think there's more to talk about all these awful jokes about, like, Stewie being racist to a customer service guy and fucking Roger Moore and putting child pornography on Brian's computer.
Yeah, it's abhorrent. It's an abhorrent movie.
And, like, I'm not against abhorrent jokes. Like, there are some bits in the Drawn Together movie we'll talk about that, like, even if I don't laugh, I can see the concept, but, like, none of these are ambitious, gross jokes. They're just there. They sit there.
Right.
Like, they don't go the extra mile. They're just like, oh, what if a reporter was Asian? Oh, what if a baby was Frasier? Oh, what if a guy was a rapist?
Yeah. You think that's bad?
I do want to see Baby Frasier now.
That's just the boss.
Well, there's
baby.
like 19 seasons of it.
Is the boss baby? The boss baby. That's just Stewie, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's just taking Stewie and making it into a movie.
Well, no, because the boss baby is more Glengarry Glen Ross. He's just Alec Baldwin and Glengarry Glen Ross as a baby. And, like, the boss baby definitely heterosexual.
Yeah. The boss baby fucks, and he fucks women.
The boss baby has no time to fuck, he says as he power walks into the zoo.
Oh my god.
So
Okay.
much of this movie I just spent with like a look of annoyance on my face as like every new bit about like, oh, Lara Flynn Boyle is thin, or oh, Britney Spears is in a bad way, which plays so much worse right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or like, oh, the women on The View like to eat, or oh, Short Round is Asian and he's played by Stewie here. Oh, Barbara Streisand has a big nose. Oh, Steve Bartman exists.
You know what? I don't get how Family Guy is as bad as it is, because I like what is that movie? Ted? I thought that movie was pretty good.
I prefer the talk version.
Do you even? Would you even get more of a kick out of watching a TED Talk than you would watching Ted?
I feel like you do
That
like.
depends. Is it the Eric Bischoff one where he talks about how wrestling is like politics?
Oh my god.
Shane,
What are you saying?
you've definitely brought up Ted a number of times.
Yeah, I love Ted. I
This
think it's a
is
good
your
movie.
TED Talk.
You're fully Ted pilled.
I am Ted. Yes, I am Ted Bill.
You're joining TED Tube.
Ted Tube. I think Ted is a pretty good movie. I thought, like, it's a fun movie to drink beer and smoke weed to. It's
Sure.
a good movie if you really like Boston the way I do. So to say the least, this is Niel's hell movie. Not a
remember
single
the
thing
bit
about
where
this-
Bill Simmons showed up to attack a protester with an American flag?
Oh my god. You know what? Like, you just love mentioning all these things about Boston, Like, as if, like, Chicago isn't racist. As if, like, New York isn't racist. All these cities are racist. It's just, like, Boston,
Is
I don't
proud
know.
of it.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, yes, Chicago has a bad history of race, but, like, there's no photograph of a guy trying to impale someone with an American flag at a Chicago busing protest.
I don't know.
There's no famous Chicago actor who has been convicted of multiple hate crimes.
Boston is just a beautiful city,
Like, Chicago did give the world John Hughes, and I assume they apologized for that, but...
You see, I like John Hughes movies. I think his movies are pretty good. I don't get
I like
this
Ferris
thing.
Bueller and, like, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, but the rest are kind of mid.
You said Planes, Trains, and Automobiles was mid, famously, and I got very upset about that.
Did I?
Oh yeah, you said.
Maybe.
Just one more thing. Let me find this. Talk amongst yourselves.
So what was your favorite... What was the joke from this that made you react the most contemptuously, Brian?
I'm still scrolling through it now. There's some contenders in there.
I'd say mine was the Condoleezza Rice gag.
Yeah, what was that?
I don't fucking know why they went so goddamn racist with it.
Yeah,
I'd
the
say
Johnny
that
Quest
is, like,
one
by
isn't
far the
great.
most racist thing in both these movies. And, like, there are some things to mention about the Drawn Together movie.
Yeah.
Just one more thing.
Okay, upper mid.
But that's still mid. That movie is perfect. That movie is a masterpiece, and you call it upper mid. That is
You know
a
what?
movie.
You've got me on this one. You've got me on this one.
Maybe you were in a mood that day.
I might have been.
Because that yeah. Midsommar. How have you not made that joke yet, that Midsommar is mid?
I
think it's because you
it's
don't
not
think it's
mid. It
mid.
sucks ass.
I just think it's the movie about, empathy and just coming together with your fellow man, and, sticking your hand between two pillows,
Okay, you're talking about Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I was getting
Yes.
very confused.
No, yeah.
I would say nothing about Midsommar is about coming together with your fellow man.
It's about coming together, inside of a woman while old women chant around you.
It's about coming together with a bunch of white supremacists to be inducted into their cult.
One thing that Midsommar and Family Guy have in common is that there's a scene where someone eats like a pie filled with pube hair. Because that is absolutely a joke in Family Guy at one point.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them.
I think like Meg wants to fuck the dog.
Oh, speaking of Meg, the fucking trans gag in this is...
Oh, it's not as like weirdly hateful like outwardly as you'd think, but it's just like a low simmering bad that honestly makes it worse.
It's not even weirdly hateful. I would just say it's normally hateful.
Yeah,
it is just normal hate presented as is.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks ass.
I'm not feeling really lucky there's a Family Guy right now.
It sounds like
he said he was going to do all the things he can do, all the things he... God damn it, how does the song go?
All the things that make us laugh and cry.
He said he was a man who positively can do all the things that make us laugh and cry, but I wasn't doing a lot of laughing here. Or a lot of crying.
For years, I thought they were saying F and cry instead of laugh and cry. And now I know better. Luckily, there's a Family Guy.
Remember the gag about the Jew Man group? So low effort.
Yeah.
Just like the one visual and no elaboration.
I think we all deserve better than this.
Sorry, I'm back.
We were all just remembering the Jew Man group joke.
It's not even funny. It's not like they don't even go for anything. All right, I think we got to move on. How are we ranking this?
I think let's wait till the end for that.
Okay. Before we get into the Drawn Together movie, do we want to do our short subjects?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. I have two. Because I had one, but then at the last minute I thought of another one that would actually be pertinent to this, so I rewatched it. Back in 1996, back in the early to mid 90s, Seth MacFarlane was like a young cartoonist, and he was working primarily for Cartoon Network for Hanna-Barbera, and he was working on Johnny Bravo and Dexter's Lab, and honestly, I think that is where his strengths should have lied, because him being like writing, like coy, joke forward, like episodes of like a children's cartoon show from the 90s, I think is a better use of his talents than Family Guy ended up being. So he wrote and produced a pilot that they would show on So both Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon had like the same kind of show where they would just show cartoon pilots, like short cartoons for like a half hour. And I want to say Cartoon Network's was called Oh Yeah Cartoons or What a Cartoon. Well, he produced a pilot called Larry and Steve, and it is legitimately like the pilot of Family Guy, essentially. It is about like a dumbass, like Boston accent guy and his talking dog.
And he's wearing the same outfit as Peter, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, but he doesn't look like Peter. He looks like an old guy. Mm-hmm. He looks like my coworker Marcelo. It's actually legitimately funny. I'm a fan of this. I think it is a legitimately funny use of Family Guy jokes, because he has to be restrained in for like making a children's show, Right. I think this is the good timeline. We're in the bad timeline right now where he made Family Guy. In the good timeline, Seth MacFarlane is known as kind of like a less psychotic Butch Hartman, where he had a couple of shows in the 90s and early 2000s on like Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network, and they were really funny, and they're a lot of people have nostalgia for them. They end up on the streaming services, and he does like the convention rounds where people dress up. Oh my
god, imagine the timeline where Butch Hartman got the adult cartoon on Fox gig.
Yes, with those Butch Hartman character designs, but Family Guy.
That would at least be more dynamic.
It would have a strong Christian morals to it, too, that atheist Seth MacFarlane lacks.
Yeah, we're not getting a Cosmos reboot.
No. All right, so that is my first short subject.
Butch Hartman, Star Trek. Christian Star Trek.
Butch
I think that
Hartman's
might just be Battlestar Galactica.
Butch Hartman's A Million Ways to Die in the West. Butch Hartman starts dating Charlize Theron.
I want to hear his Standards album.
Oh God. Well, at least it'll match the racism of the time.
doing a Frank Sinatra impression for "A Mighty Fortress Is Our God." A mighty fortress, babe, oh, is our God.
So yeah, my other suggestion, because you know how I go through my musical moods, my aesthetic moods. This last month, especially during my work depression, I've been listening to a lot of Bob Dylan. I rediscovered him, like, because people were posting song links on his birthday, and I always loved Bob Dylan, but I never deep dived into like his archive stuff or like his unreleased stuff. And I did that this week, like this last month, and there's a lot of really fucking good shit in there. And you wouldn't expect like a comedy thing from him because, like, you know, he's a satirical writer, but you wouldn't expect comedy from Bob Dylan. But there is a song of his that I want to ask Niel to play us out as the show is ending because it is I was driving to work when this was playing. The song is called "Talkin' Bear Mountain Picnic Massacre Blues."
Ooh.
Recounting an incident where the narrator of the song is trying to take a picnic with his family and ends up nearly dying. It is legitimately like Bob Dylan did not write more comedy songs or perform more comedy songs because he was too powerful at it. And if he had done that, he would have just exclusively had to do that.
That's great.
Because
speaking of comedy songs,
yeah.
My short subject for the week is I'm a fan of the podcast Episode 1, and especially when they do music, because they are weirdly proficient at doing musical parodies, like French Stewart, Spring Break Summer. There are so many great, weird, out of nowhere songs by the E1 guys, and their latest Alpha Nerds God Gamers track, Gaming Is My Life, is no different. It is a fantastic riff on nerdcore hip hop. The fucking line, I got the windows down, driving a purple saber like Mace.
That's good. That's a good line. I need to listen to this.
Qui-Gon off that gin, my face like Jar Jar, mullet like Darth now, see him fall far, far. Boss Nass shit like Sebulba with 2 cars. Even Luke had to say, you are my father. Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
So my pick for the episode, I was having trouble deciding between. I've been rewatching the web series version of Tarantula that Carson Mell made, and they're just a bunch of shorts. I don't know if they take place in California or New Mexico, but basically it's just about this this tattoo artist who. That's kind of all he has in life. It's that and like telling stories of his like misadventures with friends. His like best friend's like a reclusive like Philip K. Dick type. And so it's really funny animation, really like low key, subtle humor at times. So that's always good to go back to. And then I've also been watching a lot of like I feel like I'm constantly watching I Think You Should Leave. But yeah. I've been watching like a lot of Tim Robinson's like SNL sketches, and when he had that one episode of that show, The Characters, on Netflix. So in preparation for the second season of I Think You Should Leave coming out in a few weeks, I guess my main pick is the Lady Luck sketch, or like the Sammy Paradise sketch from The Characters, where, well, we're bringing up like Frank Sinatra again, where Tim Robinson's playing like a Frank Sinatra type at a casino. It's legitimately one of my favorite sketches, like, of anything. Yeah. And it's so perfect, and every time I watch it, I love it a little more. So,
I think since it's come out, I don't think I've gone a month, generously a month, I want to say 2 weeks, without watching something from I Think You Should Leave.
Yeah. It's
It
like
is so fucking funny.
it's so reliable. I like find comfort in it at this point. I'll just like throw it in and fall asleep.
Mhm.
Before we go on to the Drawn Together movie, I would just like to recommend the ingredient mix I have on the pizza that I got for lunch that I've been longingly staring at ever since it came here and have been occasionally muting to have a bit of. It is chicken, pineapple, and jalapeno. It is fantastic.
So can we do a vibe check on pineapple pizza real quick?
I'm in favor of it, especially with jalapeno. I think that's a good mix of tastes.
Yeah, I don't mind it. If it's like it's not the first thing I order when I get a pie, but like if somebody has it at a party, I would absolutely scarf it down.
I have been absolutely blessed in this world because I enjoy a pineapple pizza. It's not, like you said, it is not my first choice, but I always enjoy it. I have been blessed. Every single person in my life. Look at the odds of this. I am from New Jersey. I am from the New York tri-state area, and everybody in my life enjoys pineapple pizza. That doesn't fucking happen. That doesn't fucking happen. But somehow it's happened for me. And
Yeah.
I'm just happy. I like that.
I'd say the pineapple, no pineapple debate is like, it's the sort of conflict you mentioned on the last episode, where there's one side that feels strongly and attacks the other side, and the other side does not attack them.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know what the demographics of vocally hating pineapple to liking pineapple are.
You know what? And honestly, I've realized that I'm not on this side because I actually am open to it, but like I realize the New York pizza versus Chicago pizza is absolutely that. Because like Chicago people who like Chicago pizzas are like, yeah, it sucks, but I enjoy it, you know? It's a cultural thing. I probably, if I had the choice, I'd probably order a normal pizza, but like, my mom orders a Chicago pizza like 2 or 3 times a year and I enjoy it. Who gives a shit? But like the people who hate it are fucking psychos about it, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
so you think it's the same split with the pineapple?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think I think people who like pineapple on pizza, they're very soft and docile. I feel like they're just like, please let me enjoy my weird pizza. Please don't yell at me.
Just want a little sweetness with my dough.
Yeah.
I had a vodka pie last night where they replaced the tomato sauce with like vodka sauce.
Oh god, yeah.
Fantastic.
That's wonderful.
Never had it before.
My dad makes a pizza that I really love. So I found that like whenever we try to make like a good tomato sauce for a pizza, it never comes out great. So one day we just like, and like me and my dad, like we'll make pizzas, like we like making the dough and everything. We just said like, all right, fuck it, let's just not do the tomato sauce. Let's like do this like a weird focaccia thing. So we just drizzled it with like fresh, high quality olive oil, like crushed garlic and the cheese and pepperoni. And it was like the best pizza.
Yeah.
It was so fucking good. Like, I don't know why more people don't do that, you know?
Right. That sounds good. Now I want pizza and I just had it.
Yeah. I don't know, Brian, where can you get pizza in where you live? I feel like that's not an area where you can get a lot of good pizza.
You'd be surprised. There's a good amount. There's a place, Pizza Masters, that's like way too close. Like it's becoming dangerous at this point where it's being ordered multiple times a week.
Yeah.
Not always pizza, but like they just have like genuinely good food, and their pizza.
Oh, okay, so I thought when you said they're so close it's dangerous, I thought you meant like they were encroaching on your house.
No,
like,
no.
The pizza place was expanding its settlements.
No,
Yeah,
also,
it's just surrounded us.
Also, the joke is that Brian lives in New York.
Well, I'm in Jersey City at the moment.
Oh, you're in Jersey? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I thought you were back in the city. Okay.
No. Some good.
Even Jersey City, though, has wonderful fucking pizza.
Yeah.
The pizza place has to defend itself from Brian's aggression.
The war of Brian aggression.
Do you know who I am? They named me after the Family Guy dog.
All right.
So
We don't
speaking
have
of occupation, let's talk about the Drawn Together movie.
what the fuck? There were so many Israel jokes in this.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah, that was one of the weirder elements. Like when
so
they got that contract for the direct-to-DVD movie, they were rubbing their hands like, "Oh yeah, now we can finally tell the truth about Israel."
so like my official take on this movie is that I respect some of the swings they went for with this.
Hmm.
And this made me smile more than the Family Guy one did in certain jokes, but I hated this leaps and bounds more because in the risk of, going for bigger things, it made bigger falls, I
Yeah.
think.
This
And
was painful to watch at times.
yes, Family Guy was boring to watch kind of
Mhm.
for me and just kind of there. This was actively doing damage to my psyche watching this. This felt like Satan Tango, you know? This felt like watching Come and See for the first time, you know?
Right.
I'd say Satan Tango is not a movie to be compared to Come and See. Like, there are some weird things that happen in Satan Tango, but, like, there's also a fun dance sequence.
I feel like I accidentally made two different types of comparisons. The Satan Tango being how fucking long it is, and Come and See being how
It's 70
goddamn
minutes long. It's weird that it came off as that long to you.
it is. It
We-
lasted the
This
entire
is
day.
probably shorter than, like, Safety Last.
It
I
was
watched
so
the first 10 minutes of this and thought I was going to be halfway through.
yeah.
I looked
Like-
at how much time was left and, like, my eyes started to water.
Yeah. I do want to say I think I started crying at some point because I was so upset to be watching this.
Oh, it wasn't
I-
of laughter?
No, it certainly wasn't. It cannot be emphasized how lame I've always thought Drawn Together is. At the time, I was a very stupid child who, by all rights, would have loved something like Drawn Together, but it is too bad. It is too bad of a thing.
Saying again, like, this is a person who was listening to Family Guy commentaries as their own podcast type stuff on his iPad, and he thought himself above the poo poo and cum cartoon about a Disney
Yes!
princess being racist.
Yes, because it's just like I was very dumb, but I was also very I hated dumb people. Like I hated people who were proud of being dumb, you know?
Mhm.
I was an E.B. Farnham of my childhood where I really was a very dumb piece of shit, but I fancied myself an intellectual. And I looked down on the hayseeds and the hicks, and this is what that show
I bet you loved Idiocracy.
No, I didn't. I didn't like Idiocracy, actually. Idiocracy wasn't
It didn't
for me.
flatter your pretensions.
No. It should have, by all rights, but for some reason that one missed me. I think I watched it too late. If I had watched it at like 13, I would have loved it, you know? I really liked intellectual shit for dumb people, which Family Guy was, because it had, quote unquote clever jokes, but it was for dumb, like idiots, like
Mhm.
fucking pants on head, you know? Just not good. And Drawn Together, the fact that it had no pretensions, the fact that it had no, like, we're better. I didn't like that.
I'd say Drawn Together has ambitions but not pretensions, and
Yes,
Family
yes.
Guy has pretensions but not ambitions.
Yes, I was the least ambitious person in the world, but I was also very pretentious. And I still am. Still am. So yeah, I was all about the, like, I didn't like that it was wallowing in filth, you know?
Mhm.
I was like, you know what? I don't like that. Not for me. So yeah,
You
I
were
thought
the bystanders. You were the bystanders in that scene where Divine is like, "Filth are my politics. Filth are my life. Legalize first-degree murder. Advocate cannibalism. Eat shit."
Yes, absolutely. Oh god, Pink Flamingos is so fucking good. We got to do that on the show at one point.
Uh,
So yeah, fucking Drawn Together I always thought was lame. and I still think it's lame. I still think it sucks. It's really fucking unfunny. It's really goddamn it's cousin humor, you know?
Mhm.
It's jokes your cousin likes. I don't know how to what is it? Elaborate on that, but it's cousin humor.
I think that's good. That's apt.
So cousin humor is incapable of uncle magic.
Yeah, no, this is not Uncle Magic at all. This is your uncle's shitty kid. You know how your uncle has like a couple of kids, one's good and one's shitty, at least? You got at least one good
we
one.
all know that uncle who has evil twins.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
This
all
is
know a guy that has the white on the one side of his face and the black on the other side of his face, and he has the brother who has the black on the one side of his face and the white on the other one. You know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about.
You know that the universal factor in life.
Cousins with white on the right side be like this.
Now, there are two types of Sneeches. Sneeches with a star on their belly, and Sneeches without a star on their belly. And it's the Sneeches without the stars on their bellies that fuck everything up for the Sneeches with the stars on their bellies.
Has anybody ever said Sneeches get Steeches?
They have now.
You're a star belly Sneech, you suckle like a leech. You want everyone to act like you.
You ever go over to your uncle at the hospital, he's expecting a baby, and don't you know it, the baby's come out, one of them's got a goatee, and you gotta go, oh man, sorry for you, buddy, you got the evil one.
God damn it, Hydra is playing Michael Rappaport again.
Guys from the mirror universe drive like this. Guys from the normal universe drive like this.
Did you ever watch Michael Rappaport's sitcom, The War at Home?
Mhm.
I don't think I did.
That was real, like, it was like, that was Titus for, like, people with room temp IQs. That was...
future
I've
Oscar
never
winner Rami
seen
Malek.
Titus, but I used to love Christopher
Yes.
Titus specials.
Oh, Titus was great. I loved Titus growing up. Like, that was great. That was great content. Michael Rappaport
Christopher
wishes he
Titus
was
is
Titus.
like, what if Bo Burnham was abused as a child?
Yes.
He'd have to learn to be funny instead
All right,
of
all right.
offensive.
Okay, we're not gonna get into this.
Actually,
out,
no. Bad comparison. Titus is like if Dennis Leary was abused as a child.
Yeah. I'm abused. Dennis Leary. There's nothing funnier. What is funnier? Felix Biederman talking about Dennis Leary or Felix Biederman talking about Michael Rappaport?
Oh. I'd have to say Rappaport.
Yeah, because Dennis Leary, that is underrated in how funny it is, but him doing his Michael Rappaport impression is the funniest thing in the world.
Oh.
All right, so drawn together, how about you make your defense about why this movie's good?
I think first we have to talk about the plot, and I guess I'll take
Do
point
we?
on that.
Do we?
It is a surprisingly complicated plot.
Oh,
Okay, so it opens up with a cold open where, you know what? So, it's hard to talk about this without talking about, like, the main characters first in order to establish them, because, like, it's hard to just say, oh, there's a character who's who's like fake Betty Boop. So if you just say, oh, fake Betty Boop is in Bedrock, you just sound like a crazy person. So yeah, Drawn Together is, from what I understand, it was like a fake reality show starring like takeoff cartoon characters.
Mm-hmm.
I barely remember their names. I mainly remember I remember half of their names, like Captain Hero, Foxy Brown, Princess Clara, Xander. That's about it.
sounds
Oh,
like
and
you
the pig
remember the name.
Spanky.
Sounds like you
So that's
remember
like
most of
5
the
out of
names.
8. Oh, and the
Ling,
racist Pikachu.
Ling.
Yeah. So that's 6 out of 8, and I can't
It's
remember
Toots.
the other ones.
Toots, I think, is the
Yeah,
the Betty
Toot,
Boop.
I guess.
And,
Toot has a weird last name that I can't remember. And
Yeah.
the fucking banana guy.
No, I don't know him. That's SpongeBob.
Waldorf?
Basically.
Waldorf? Is that his name?
No F. Waldorf.
Okay.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay. So, anyway. So, yeah, you've got, you've got fucked up Superman, fucked up Disney princess, fucked up member of Josie and the Pussycats, fucked up Betty Boop, Pikachu, but racist. Jesus Christ, I can't believe how far they went on the racist Chinese Pikachu.
It's so much worse in the show.
I think one could say that in my mind, I think the creators don't know what the difference between China and Japan is. I feel like they don't know that there's a difference. And that's why the Pikachu is Chinese and not Japanese. I don't think they're trying to make a statement on like, oh, China often has, like a bootleg market for Japanese products.
So you're saying it's the same reason you don't know where Indiana is?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I can't throw stones in that certain sense.
But yes, so the cold open is Toot is living in Bedrock. She's pregnant, and Foxy, is it Foxy Love or Foxy Brown? I can never recall.
Love.
It's Foxy
Foxy
Cleopatra, and she's a whole lot of woman.
But yes, she shows up at this Stone Age club, and she carves her a note on like a little rock napkin. That was the first laugh I got out of the movie.
Oh.
The fucking rock napkin with a note carved on it. And it seems like, they're in some trouble, they're in hiding, and they are suddenly attacked and have to leave. Someone shoots a rocket launcher at them as they go, and then it cuts to the present day. Oh god, now I'm remembering the bit with the car. The bit with the car also got me.
Keys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, fuck you. Man, I just I don't know what else to say, but God, fuck off.
What, you didn't like the gag about the Flintstone car?
You know what, I should, because I love the history of cartoons. I love Flintstones, but this made it dirty. It's just
the genre riff where they're in an action scene and they do the looking for the keys spot, but they're in a car where they just run to make it go.
Yeah. That is, I guess that's something,
And then on their way out, they run over the actual Barney Rubble, who is there. I was very surprised by that.
Yeah.
And then they cut to the present day where they're all living in the house together, and they immediately do a segment about stomping on kittens with copious amounts of blood. And what a tone setter. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah, it just that's really what the show is for me. Just edgelord shit, but really to say it's edge, because South Park is edgelord. This is what a 12-year-old thinks edgelord is after watching South Park. If you made a 12-year-old watch South Park and told them to write a TV show, they would write Drawn Together.
Yeah, this was made for people who are still writing boobs into Google.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say writing boobs into their calculator.
No, they can't get into any of the classes that require calculators.
Oh my god.
The people who watch Drawn Together have to go to the classes where you have the Flintstones phone that says "Yappa Dappa Doo, I like talking to you."
Oh my god. But anyway, their producer is... I thought it was going to be a Trump riff at first because he's got the hair, but no, he's a Jewish robot. I don't know what the thing about this character is. I have not seen this show, and so all of this is hitting me for the first time.
You know what? You know what he looks like? Remember the comic that people were creaming themselves over in 2010? Saga.
Yeah, the television.
Yeah. Like, is that good? Like, I read like two issues of that, and I feel like
I read
everybody was.
like the first two things of it, and I like the art, but Brian K. Vaughan is cringe to me.
I feel like Saga is one of those things that, like, you know, everybody who doesn't read comics was just like, this is the future of comics. And then the people who do read comics were just like, this is whatever.
Yeah, apparently it has like a really weird abortion arc.
Oh, well, of course, Brian K. Vaughan.
But, anyway, apparently things are going weird with the show. All the challenges seem to be, hastily thought up on the spot, and Foxy decides to try to solve that mystery. Apparently she's very bad at solving mysteries, but this time she finds out the answer, which is that the reality show they're on's been canceled.
Yeah.
And because they found out they've been canceled, and they call the network, it seems like, that they broke a fragile piece that had been put together by this producer. I still, like, Brian, you seem to have seen more of this show?
Yeah, I saw a good amount of episodes back in the day, like probably soon after they first aired, just like being at a friend's house or somebody would throw it on in like a dorm.
Is there more to this character that I'm not getting?
The producer character?
Yeah.
They pop up every once in a while with like a different challenge or something, but I can't say I remember them being like as big of a character as they are in this.
Huh. So the fact that you see his family and he's a consequential part of the plot, this is the Jew producer lore movie.
Yeah.
This is like when Linkara has a character arc.
Jew Wario.
Oh,
the most canceled internet man. That's not even canceled. That's just a criminal. He's the Jeffrey Epstein of like the biggest losers in the world.
Oh, but yes, apparently there is some evil guy with a robot named Israel who holds a grudge against the Drawn Together people because his family saw a billboard with two ladies kissing and drove off of a cliff into a vat of acid.
And it turned him into Two-Face.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, that certainly is what's happening in this movie, isn't it?
And so they're trying to get their show back so that they won't get erased by the Israel robot. How did you guys feel about like the eraser grenades? Because like I found that like a really clever concept visually.
You're asking me to feel something here.
Like, I think part of why I was more forgiving of this show's excesses is that I could respect what it was doing visually. Because, like, all these characters have all these different styles to them, and they work together as, like, a stylistic mix more than I expected. And, like, It seems to be doing something with its visuals that Family Guy would never deign to do.
Uh-huh.
And so even though it's, crass, racist, has a shocking lack of Dave Chappelle, I was able to forgive it because it felt like it was going places that you're not going to see that on the other channel, to quote a recent controversy in wrestling.
So, you know what this is? This is Suicide Squad again.
You know what? It is.
You really love audacious shit that is genuinely unwatchable, but like tries something.
I can respect ambition.
Yeah, respecting ambition can only go so far for me. This actively was spiting me for watching it.
And like we mentioned in the Family Guy movie that the other characters seem to basically disappear after basically the first of the 3 episodes it got chopped into. This does not have that problem. Basically every character has some level of involvement in the plot as like an active character.
I really wish they wouldn't. Like, God, get the fat Betty Boop out of here. Get her out of here.
Like, Captain Hero is having sex with a corpse. Xander, the truly mind-blowingly homophobic fantasy archetype. Like, I would also like to know what happened in the meeting where that guy was thought up, because, like, looking at him, my mind goes to ElfQuest, but, like, who's pulling out ElfQuest as a touchstone in a Comedy Central poo-poo and cum cartoon about what if a Disney princess was racist? Like, who's bringing that character, who's bringing that art style into the room and saying, hey, we're doing a gay character, let's have him be an ElfQuest guy. But yes, he is jealous of the corpse that Superman is fucking. And Ling Ling, the racist Pikachu, is trying to use that opportunity to become friends with Xander. And, you know, Princess Clara, the racist Disney princess, is trying to go back to her homeland and finds out, you know, not only is she canceled, she's not even real. None of them are real. They're all takeoffs of existing characters.
Just bad
parodies.
parodies.
But apparently, even though this is willing to go full-on air pirates with, like, having 3 Dr. Manhattans gangbang a corpse, they weren't willing to go after any real Disney princess.
No.
They escape the house, which gets erased by Israel. And, you know, they get chased out into the desert, and they have to make a choice. You know, are we going to try to get our show back, or are we going to go, you know, hide in Princess Clara's life? And, you know, they split up at that point. Princess Clara goes home. Turns out she's fake. They get locked up. Her arms get cut off and she gets killed by the guards. And
I spent the whole movie wondering, like, oh, when are they going to bring her back? But they don't.
And
she legitimately dies.
Yeah. Foxy and the rest, they go to find the show that stole their time slot, the Suck My Taint show, starring the Suck My Taint girl, who's basically Cartman.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I know you were a fan of the points they were making against South Park here, and I'm not going to say they're not warranted. I think they're good takes to have against South Park. But like
their riff on the South Park art style is so ugly.
Yeah, it is so unearned, you know? Because South Park is a show that is worthy of having a discourse over how much it fucking sucks. But, like, not from Drawn Together.
It is very much the worst person you know just made a pretty good point.
Yes.
Because, like, its critique seems to be that every single attempt to make a point by South Park goes into shitty right-wing places.
Yeah.
And so, you know, they have to get the gang together so that Suck My Taint Girl can take them to Make a Point Land so they can have a point and get their show back.
Yeah, this movie was very bitter, very clearly bitter about South Park in a very interesting way.
Yeah, and I will take that over the basically just yelling at everyone else who is famous of the Family Guy movie.
Uh-huh.
And so they break out of prison, basically doing the Metal Gear Solid 3 thing with the corpse that Superman is fucking. And, you know, they escape, they all find each other, and they fall into the bottom of the ocean where they basically do the Star Wars spot, but in a carriage that's filling up with water. And they decide to listen to the director commentary, which gives them the solution.
This is not a director's commentary that I enjoyed.
Part of your reaction towards it was that it was directly insulting you when it asked who listens to this shit.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I think I was insulted. I'm the type of person who would have listened to that.
And so they escape, they go back to Suck My Taint Girl. She takes them in her shit-powered rocket, which is an ear of corn powered by bullshit to make the point that ethanol is bullshit. And they go to Make a Point Land, where everything that's there is in the South Park style. A very crude drawing used to make a shitty point.
Yeah. Hillary
Clinton. What was
Clinton.
the point of the two-headed Mother Teresa crab?
Yeah, that was very bizarre.
I don't begin to know. Hillary Clinton bouncing onto like a set of fat balls.
I thought those were ass cheeks.
No, those are her nuts, I think.
I guess either works.
Yeah, because famously there was a South Park episode where, like, I think Randy was bouncing on his fat, cancerous nuts because he wanted to get legal weed.
If that's the poll they're making, then wow.
I think it was contemporaneous for when the movie came out.
Huh.
Because that came out.
Yeah, this movie came out far later than I expected. Like, I guess I don't really remember when the show initially came out and then was canceled. 2010 seems really late for this to come out.
Yeah, I remember Drawn Together being like from when I was 12.
Right.
So yes, during all this, the producer and Israel are working together. The producer is very conflicted. There's a scene where Israel sleeps in the middle of a freeway and gets very angry when told that, you're in the most dangerous place you could possibly be. You could be literally anywhere else. And so, they get there. It turns out that the make-a-point wizard is, in fact, it's a trap. Admiral Akbar voice. And they're ambushed by Israel and the producer. The producer sacrifices himself to save them. And it's a vaguely happy ending because they get the corpse that he was fucking back.
Oh my god. All my fucking audio's gone. Oh, what was the point of any of this? I'm so angry. I hate Drawn Together. My audio's gonna sound like shit.
Do we have a joke of the movie?
No. Fuck you.
Brian, do you have a joke of the movie?
I was kind of ashamed of the chuckle I had of the giant who shits into its own mouth when they like fix things for him, and then he says he's hungry and will anyone shit in his mouth. That got a little smirk out of me, and then immediately I was like, I wish I didn't smile at that.
Did you notice that his shirt said bipartisanship?
Yeah.
Shane, have you calmed down enough to have a joke of the movie?
I don't have a joke of the movie. I fucking hate this movie. I don't have a lot of half-star movies on Letterboxd. I have like 500 movies I've rated 5 stars, but only like 18 that I've ever given a half star. This is one of them.
Okay, then I will go with my joke of the movie. One of the few that made me just completely crack up. So they're in the desert. They've been told that they're fake. And they're like, I believe Princess Claire is like, I'm not fake. I'm a real Disney princess. And they ask, what Disney princess would do the things that you've done? And there's like a little clip show thing of all the things that she's done that are unbecoming of a Disney princess. And Fox is like, yeah, and how many members of Josie and the Pussycats have done the things that I've done? Same thing, clip show, and someone asks, Captain Hero, how many superheroes have sex with corpses? And he's like, I don't know, Molly. How many superheroes have you been with? And then it's just a montage of different copyrighted superheroes having sex with a corpse. And we've mentioned the 3 Dr. Manhattans, but I'm pretty sure Aquaman gets into it, like Aquaman and Green Lantern at the same time.
Yeah.
And, like she's like in a bathtub while Batman and Robin are having sex in a
just
bathroom.
In the background. Yeah.
Yes. And I fucking love doing Air Pirates shit with copyrighted characters, so that hit me in my heart.
Yeah.
And plus, like the left turn after, these 2, clip show bits, that being the punchline on the third really hit me.
What was with and I'm sorry if I missed this, what was the deal with the whole sex scene with...
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck was with that.
Like, was that to just justify, like, an unrated, whatever, like, release?
It might have also been to justify recapping the entire cold open in a 71-minute movie.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they also added the gag with Betty in there.
Yeah. So this is going to be high up on the ranking, isn't it?
Probably not, but like
If you had your choice, it would be way higher than it should be. You would put this above Austin Powers 2, which is insane.
oh yes,
Fuck
God.
you. No, I will not allow that. With all of my power, I will not allow that.
I would not put it above Goldmember, but I would put it above Spy Who Shagged Me.
Interesting.
Oh, this was maybe one of the worst movies I've seen in my life.
I think part of that is your disdain for digital film for digital cartoons.
Oh, yeah, this is ugly. This was an ugly fucking movie.
Yeah, I cannot defend it on that front. It is very much ugly, both in all the designs. It's better produced than an episode of Johnny Test, but like that's not a high bar.
Yeah.
And like there's only so much that like an interesting approach to mixing together different art styles can really get you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This was an incredibly ugly movie inside and out.
Shane, will this make you think about in the future, like...
Not going full devil mode?
Yes.
Yeah. Possibly. I had so many better movies planned for this episode, but then the kernel of the idea, happened, and I had to do it.
Congratulations, Shane, you played yourself.
I certainly did play myself.
You've truly hurt us with this one.
Yes.
Well, you hurt Brian.
No, I think you just haven't realized the pain this has caused yet.
I just like...
Well, you hurt me with the Family Guy one. You hurt Brian with Drawn Together.
Why didn't I realize you would like the Drawn Together movie? It's the perfect type of movie for you.
I don't think you'd seen the Drawn Together movie.
It's the Jimmy Buckets of movies.
I'd like you to justify that comparison.
Because fuck you. That's the comparison. Elaborate on that. No.
Listeners, if you have any idea what resemblance Jimmy Butler has to the Drawn Together film, email us at talkingabouttimothyspall@gmail.com.
They're both ugly. God, alright. Where do we rank
what was
these?
you guys' reaction to the Shabbos Goy scene?
The what?
The scene where, it's Shabbos and the producer has to answer his phone, so he goes over to his neighbor's house and is like,
it took
hey...
so fucking long.
Yeah, they really just dragged everything out.
Oh my god.
See, that kind of acts as an example of, like, the begrudging respect I have for its approach to jokes, because,
it doesn't
like,
seem begrudging
Family
at
Guy...
this point.
Family Guy would have just had, like, one gag, but,
Yeah.
like, it's elaborated on so much. He's like, if you want me to do it, convert to Christianity. And he sarcastically does, and then is like, okay, now you can answer the phone yourself.
At a certain point, I don't respect the fact that they went for it. It's such a dirty thing that shouldn't have happened, that the more respectable thing is to just do it quick and get it over with. This movie is the equivalent of, like, you know how, like, it's in human nature to know that you shouldn't play with your shit, your own human shit. And if you see somebody who likes to play with their, like, if you see, like, a small child that's playing with their own fucking feces, you should get them help immediately, because that is an early sign that something is fucking wrong. That's this. That is this movie. This movie is playing with its own turds, and it is wrong. It is sick. There's a sickness to this movie. This movie
says
put
the
its
guy
filth
who
in
listened
me.
to Family Guy commentaries as a child.
I was going to say, is this the first time that you're aligning with commonsensemedia.com?
Oh my god, I just hate this. I hate it so much. Profoundly, I did not like this movie. Profoundly.
I feel like for your birthday, I'm going to start a GoFundMe to make a sequel to this.
No!
And I'll donate as much as I can in your name.
Oh my god. They'll have a sex scene where
How much would you have to pay Adam Carolla
You'd be surprised how little.
Adam Carolla has to be on what is it, cameo.
You pay him in stew.
You pay him in
See, but now the woman who plays Toot, she's got that My Little Pony money.
Yeah. Adam Carolla has to be on cameo. I bet you can make him like talk about Drawn Together.
Oh, definitely.
There are so many bits in this that like I was confused more than I was offended. Like the bit where they go to the Disney Village and the real princess does like a twirl across the screen and they show her pussy.
Yeah,
I don't know what the fuck was up with that.
I don't know. It was stupid. I was dumbfounded by it.
The fucking fetus bungee gag. I may have chuckled just out of sheer bewilderment.
It seems like you liked this one.
I could not, in good conscience, put a number on my Letterboxd review. That is how conflicted I am.
Oh, sick. You're a sick individual. I just this was dog shit. This was
Secondary joke of the movie when they're in Make a Point Land. Oh, and the floating Tom Brokaw made a seaman. What's his point? Maybe that the media is pointless and superficial and delicious?
It's not clever at all. None of it is clever.
It's more clever than the Family Guy one.
No, Family Guy was more clever.
No way.
No, they're both not clever, but Family Guy was cleverer than this.
You are going to have to back that up with a gag that shows an amount of inventiveness. Any amount of inventiveness.
I'm sure there is one. Let me think. Oh, you know what? Yeah. When Stewie jumps out the window and for like a half second.
Okay, that's double. Fair. I did note that is the peak of Family Guy movies' inventiveness.
That is more inventive than whatever you're saying Drawn Together did.
I guess we'll have to agree to disagree on this one.
I guess you know what it is? It really is the drill tweet. At no point you have to hand it to him.
Like, I will give them this. Like, Foxy is like a fraught character. Like, she clearly has, issues that need to be discussed in like a racial sense. But like, they have a black woman voicing her, like an actual black person, which is more than they've done for Cleveland in this movie. And I think it took like 15 years for them to actually recast Cleveland as a black person.
Do they still have... Is Family Guy still on?
Yeah.
Why?
People watch it.
Good question.
I'm so mad. I'm so fucking mad. I lost my goddamn project.
I remember you being somewhat impressed about the Israel-Palestine commentary in this movie in the group chat.
Yeah, I do think it was... I respected the fact that it was so blatantly anti-Israel in like smarter ways than just like fuck Jews, Like it had like something to say, but just like at what cost?
Okay, so I'm gonna level with you. When I was writing my Letterboxd review before I said, I can't put a number on this, I was gonna go with 2 stars. Not good, but 2 stars. I wasn't going to click the little heart, but 2 stars.
Psychotic.
I do not think this is good, but I think it aims high enough and achieves enough that it deserves 2 stars.
Oh, okay. I'm
just going to say it. This goes below the Austin Powers triple feature, I assume.
In my opinion, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so we're all agreed. Like, I would not put the Drawn Together movie above even the 3rd Austin Powers movie.
Yeah. So, in my opinion, they're both at the bottom.
What does the bottom 5 look like right now?
The bottom 5 is Goldmember, Entertainment, Spy Who Shagged Me, and then the 2, as of yet unranked.
I would say under Goldmember.
No.
For Drawn Together movie, because like it made us laugh more than Entertainment did.
No.
I would disagree with that. I think I laughed more at Entertainment.
Yeah.
So under entertainment?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. It's got to be. If this goes above Austin Powers, I might not be able to do the show anymore.
So
Brian-
Austin Powers 2, then Drawn Together movie, then Family Guy.
Oh, if that's a compromise I have to make, I can make that.
Yeah.
Brian, what do you think?
I'm with you, Shane. Like, if that's how we're ranking the two, but that's their position, like towards the bottom, I can live with that.
Yeah. These two have to be the bottom. I cannot live in a world where these two are not the bottom for right now.
I have to say, Austin Powers Spot You Shagged Me was pretty fucking bad.
No, it was actually a masterpiece.
I mean, I'm not agreeing with that part of it at all. That movie is garbage.
No, God.
We just watched stinkier garbage.
Yeah, this is garbage that had poo in it. Toxic waste.
So I think I put together the double feature we did last, picked by the two of us. So Brian, it's your turn at bat to pick our next member of the podcast chosen double feature.
Okay. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make that decision this second. I'm still kind of reeling from the experience of the one we're talking about, but I'm going to have to bring up that list.
So eventually, soon, maybe not the next episode, but the episode after Brian's, we are going to be doing the Buster Keaton double feature, I think, with Victor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With the resident vaudeville pervert. But yeah.
I just realized we didn't actually add this one to the spreadsheet.
No, this was never an official one. This is just a hell idea that I had.
It also should not be put on there now. It doesn't deserve to be on there.
No.
We do need to at least mark that we have done it so that we do not do it again.
Yes. Imagine if we accidentally did this episode again.
Like, why does this feel so familiar?
Remember that time we watched the Family Guy movie? I just think calling either of these movies is just so insane to me.
What the deuce?
I really wish we could use those eraser grenades on, like, the past few days.
Yeah.
Specifically the time that I watched both of these.
I would not do that, because that would erase an experience of watching the Tim Rogers Doom review. And eating this delicious chicken pineapple jalapeno pizza.
All right, so Brian, do you want to choose the episode like on air, or do you want to like take some time to think about it?
I'm looking now, but I do want to be. Yeah, I may decide afterwards.
Yeah, take some time. Really pray on it. You know, talk to your pastor.
Imagine if we followed this up with the Tony Erdmann Wetlands double feature. All right, so until next time, you can find me on Twitter at FUCKINALPAM. God damn it. ALPAMARE. And you can find my music at neiljacoby.bandcamp.com. I just released a new album.
I gotta listen to that.
Yeah.
I do. I like your albums quite a bit. I'm the Shane Blepp on Twitter.
And I'm Brian Morgan on Twitter, BUHRIANMORGAN.
And until next time, Tail wins.
Tails wins.